Well, would you look at that? This is a special edition of the Nightcap with yours truly, and most importantly, your buddy, Jared Yamamoto. This is my new talk show, typically heard Saturdays from 11 to midnight on WSB Radio. And ladies and gentlemen, this is one of those times where I say typically because I'm actually live streaming to you on a Friday afternoon. Yes, for those watching on all my different social media platforms at Jared Yamamoto, I am doing a live stream of this Nightcap. Why? Well, because my home station, WSB, is the home of the Georgia Bulldogs, and the Georgia Bulldogs will be taking on the Auburn War Eagle Tigers tomorrow evening at 7:30. My time slot is going to be right in the middle of at the end of the game or during the post game. So I got bumped tomorrow from radio, but nonetheless, I am here to do a Nightcap with you. So, and you know what? Anytime the Dogs are on, I happily bounce out of the way and make sure that I give the airtime back to them. And of course, I'm just happy to hang out with all of you beautiful people, whether you're watching this back or listening back to this later, or you could be watching it back later, but you could be watching, you could be listening back later as a podcast. Regardless, I appreciate you taking your time to hang out with me here on my Nightcap. Now, we do have a lot to talk about, and I feel like I've got to start with what happened last night. Last night was a really, really fun night. I posted about this up on my Instagram at Jared Yamamoto, and I was a recipient of the most distinguished alumni from the School of Film Communication and Media at the University of West Georgia. And for me, like, the award obviously is wonderful. I was so happy to go out there and give a speech and thank everybody for my time at West Georgia. I'm still very connected with them. In fact, if you're watching the live stream now, I've got my West Georgia shirt on now. And I just was so honored to go back and spend time with everybody and see friends and old professors. And that's what it's all about, really. It's all about making sure that you prioritize the people that are in your life or that were in your life before, and make sure you spend some time with them, because you just don't know when you're going to be in that moment again. And that's kind of been my message this year, especially like for 2025. There's been a lot of events where, and I'm blessed with this. I as a social person, a radio guy out of Atlanta, Georgia, and with a giant network, I was born and raised in Atlanta, and now I'm on radio in Atlanta, and I'm super connected with my community, and I'm very blessed to be connected with the community the way that I am. But one of the things that I've really had a lot of time to reflect on this year has been how important moments like last night are. I mean, even going back to, I had a great time with friends during Labor Day weekend. I saw some friends that I had not seen for a year on Labor Day weekend. 4th of July was similar. We had a big gathering for that where some friends we hadn't seen for months. And I think my message to everybody for 2025 is make sure that you are in the moment as much as possible, because you don't know the next time you're going to be in that moment again. In my case, last night, I saw some friends I hadn't seen in, I don't know, maybe 2-3 years. And that was really special. That made it really, really special for me. And I wanted to make sure that I was there and I was in the moment as much as possible. And of course, there are 100 things going on. I've got a bunch of things going on for the rest of the month, going into the rest of the year. But I wanted to make sure that I was 100% there and present. And here on my Nightcap, one of the things that I like to try to explain to people, and again, you don't have to necessarily take what I do as the way that things should be done, but if there's something you can learn from your old buddy Jared Yamamoto, it's number one, be in the moment as much as possible, because you don't know when you're going to be back in that situation again. And this is not me trying to tell you exactly how to think or how to do things, but I want you I promise you, if you live life like that, you won't find yourself looking forward to events in the future so much, because you'll be able to enjoy life in the present. And I know there are some things you got to do that suck. You know, like I went to the pharmacy yesterday before that, which, by the way, I was off radio for the Von Hessler Doctrine yesterday, Thursday, and it was so weird getting the chance to like drive around town and get errands done. I never get that stuff done. I can't remember the last time I took off a day in the middle of the week. I'm always trying to like build it into a weekend, whether it's like a Friday or a Monday or maybe a Monday, Tuesday, you get it. But I don't take like a Wednesday or Thursday off by itself. And so that was interesting to be able to get a couple errands done before heading out to Carrollton and receiving the award and getting a chance to thank them for having me out there. And because of my nightcap not being on tomorrow night, I actually will be going out to Carrollton to watch them play their football game. They're playing Abilene Christian, and that'll be fun. Where both teams are ranked in FCS. But we have a lot to talk about, and because I'm live streaming, I will go on and open up my chats now. So if you have any questions for me throughout the show or are interacting, I see people on Instagram already jumping in over here to my left. If I'm looking to my left, I see my Instagrammers. I see TikTok and Facebook over here, and I see my YouTubers over here. So if you want to interact with me or have any questions or think I'm just full of it, feel free to interact with me. Appreciate you, Jack, saying that I'm the 2025 Alumni of the Year. Kevin, you as well, man. I appreciate you saying that. It means a lot to represent my university in that way. And one of the things that I love about doing radio is just I feel super connected with the community that I'm in. And it's I can't say that it's an easy job. I thought that when I got into this business that it was going to be easy. I was completely wrong about that. I've had to learn so much over the years to get better at it. And I'm always striving to get better at radio. And I'm very blessed to have my nightcap, and I'm very blessed to be part of the Von Hessler Doctrine. And I'm just know this for all those that are listening back to this later or watching me now, I promise you, I'm always trying to get better at my craft. So before I need to get off my SAP story because there are stories to talk about. I just found out that the government shutdown is going to continue through the weekend. So congratulations. Bravo to our Democrats and Republicans in leadership right now. Bravo. You know, the Atlanta airport is about to go through fall break now. So fall break is I don't love what they're doing with this. They try to make it a point now to break the school kids' schedule up a little bit by having more breaks throughout the year. I don't love that personally. I don't love having the extra breaks throughout the year, but apparently the teachers like it. And if the teachers like it, they're the ones that are on the battleground. And I have not been in that position before as a teacher, so I will bow to you. If you, the teacher, say that it is better to have the breaks throughout the year, then I'm not willing to die on that hill. So it just seems to me that I would much rather have the longer summer, but I get it. Maybe if I were a teacher and in that role, I would think the same thing. Regardless, with the government shutdown, the area that's getting hit the hardest right now is aviation. And with the Atlanta airport, Hartsfield-Jackson, that is the busiest airport in the world. And we are hearing about lines already picking up over the week. And with fall break starting next week, we have a lot of people that are planning to travel in and out of the airport. So bravo. I mean, all you can do. I mean, we have 2 senators here in Georgia that have voted to not keep the government open. That would be Senator Raphael Warnock and Senator John Ossoff. I understand that it does require a compromise, but when you are in a state like this, where air travel is a big deal, and I mean a big deal in the state of Georgia, you have to think about your people. And I mean, I guess I'm grateful that I'm not flying during this time, but I know that this past weekend coming in from Scotland, at least, I was there seeing my little brother, and that was right when the government shutdown began. So I can't imagine what these employees are thinking now, because TSA workers are required to work, and already they can be a bit ornery at times. There are some good TSA workers out there, but for the most part, they can be a bit ornery. And how could you not be? You're seeing so many people every single day and you have to tell them the same thing. On how to put things in the bins and stuff. It would be not an ideal gig. And I always try to be incredibly nice to our TSA agents that are just trying to keep us safe. And they're not getting paid through this. And I'll say the same thing that pisses me off so much from last week, and I'll bring it up this week too. The thing that pisses me off so much about the government shutdown is that for some reason, our representatives and our senators still get paid during it. That is absurd. I know that some have decided to forego their salaries, but that's not good enough for me. As an American, you should be offended by that. You should be offended that the people that voted to close down the government are still getting paid. And the fact that our TSA agents and the most important people, our military members, they are not getting paid during this time. So remember that. Remember when these people they just adjourned earlier, like, well, nothing's going to happen. We're not going to get our way. We're not going to get our way. Remember that our brave men and women that fight to defend our country are not getting paid during this time. It's outrageous. And I'm already feeling my blood boil just thinking about that. So we know this. The government shutdown will continue at least through the weekend. Bravo to both sides for getting nothing done here. Again, the hang up, if you're unfamiliar with it, is over a $1 trillion addition to healthcare funds. For me, $1 trillion seems excessive, and the Republicans at this point want to keep the government open at least until December. My whole thing is, let's figure this out. Let's not stop it again in December. I don't want it to stop in December and keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. I mean, what is the definition of insanity? Continuing to do the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. We are literally living in a government shutdown loop now where this constantly happens every 4 or 5 months. Not necessarily the government shutting down, but we're always coming up to a continuing resolution or some kind of funding bill to keep the government going. And it's outrageous. I mean, we should be holding our politicians accountable for what they say. And right now, I got to be honest with you. Republicans have more numbers than Democrats. So when they say that Democrats are to blame in this, Democrats certainly have more of the blame, but Republicans are not helping themselves because there are plenty of people that work within our military or enlisted in our military, and plenty of people that work within our government that are Republicans as well that are not getting paid. So you should be outraged across the board. That's all I want to say there. Bravo. Government shutdown is going to continue at least until next week. And Jack, you make a good point again here on my Instagram. Both sides can't govern. You're right. We've gotten to this place now where it's like, okay, all right, well, if you're not going to give us this, then we're just not gonna operate at all. And I'm like, great, awesome. This is what a wonderful way to operate here in the United States of America. All right, now let's get into some of the other stories here. This story I found to be wild here, and it's a little bit misleading, but it's a study that came out. And it is from the Internet Advertising Bureau. And it is found that this is wild. I'm somebody that loves college football 26, college football 25. I wouldn't call myself a gamer, but I certainly play my PlayStation 5 at least, 3-4 times a week. And I enjoy it. I get a lot of therapy by playing my PlayStation and beating the crap out of another team. Or beating the crap out of somebody online. Now, I don't ever talk smack on the microphone or anything like that, but there is no better feeling than when you're, trying to decipher the crazy world that we live in, trying to understand why these people are so effing nuts and how I can do what I can do as a person. Because one of the things that makes me different is I'm always trying to find a solution. What is it that Jared Yamamoto can do to help these people in the long term? And when I can't help people, and I just see this constant gridlock, whether it's, government shutdown, as I mentioned before, or any kind of issue like that, I get frustrated. And at least with video games, it is an outlet for me to get some of my rage out with how frustrating it is. But this study is shocking here from the Internet Advertising Bureau. It is found that 52% of the gaming audience is women. Yes, the ladies, they make up the majority of people playing video games. Now, when I clicked on this, of course, I was shocked about this. I was shocked that it was that women were bigger gamers than men, because you just don't think about that. In fact, you see so many TikToks out there now or Instagram Reels where you see people that are like, the best combination in the world is a wife that reads her book and a husband that plays video games. At least those are in my algorithm. It seems to be a match made in heaven there. You got the gamer, and then you've got the book reader right next to each other, and they create an alliance together. It's a viral trend that's all over the place. And to see this, I was like, okay, I'm intrigued. I'll click on it. Now, what it doesn't tell you, though, is that a lot of these ladies are playing some of the freemium games that are on phones and stuff. So a lot of I don't want to say simpler because I want to come across as a misogynist. I don't want to come across like that, but they are not as complex as like a console game or like a computer game or anything like that, a PC game. It's not like they're truly gaming, but they are actually downloading more and more apps and playing games on the side. I know I caught my wife earlier this week. She was playing this like a virtual beer pong with one of her friends via text. I can't remember the name of the app in front of me now, but I guess that would constitute as gaming because you are playing with somebody online, even if it is just as dumb as literally you took your finger and you flicked the ping pong ball into the virtual cups. And I'm like, we could just play beer pong this weekend. We don't have to play virtual beer pong. But as of right now, ladies and gentlemen, 52% of the gaming audience is made up of women. Inside that, what was crazy is I believe 70% of them were over the age of 62. So you got a lot of the gamer grandmas out there, the gamer grandmas that are really holding things down for you. So the gamer grandmas, they're the ones that are really enjoying that lifestyle. Now, a couple other stories that I saw here, which again, you can engage since I'm doing a live stream this week. Number one, there are a couple things. There are going to be no breaks at all. I'm going to go straight forward. This is the one thing I love about the podcast format is that I can go straight forward and I don't have to break for radio. So I'll keep on going. I'll also interact with you guys throughout the show. I see people watching live on my Instagram at Jared Yamamoto, and I see people on my Facebook. YouTubers, I see you guys, and TikTokers, I see you guys over here. So I'm happy to interact with anything that you want to bring up throughout the show. Now, this next story is interesting here because apparently YouTube is letting some previously banned users return, and you may now see some videos that violated their old rules, but they're now going to be back into the atmosphere. And I think that this is a good thing here because for YouTube to compete with a lot of the different, I guess, spaces where people are sharing information, you don't want to limit things. Already, when I'm doing a live stream like this, there are certain words that because of the platform, I can't use. And I guess to an extent with radio, the FCC prevents me from saying cuss words or anything like that. I can't cuss on here. But there are certain words that cannot be used on Instagram or Meta, certain words that can't be used on TikTok. And I'm very aware of those words. And I do feel like if these companies really, really want to get the most out of their platform, then they should open it up to free speech as much as possible. Now, I realize there are going to be some crazy people, and I've gone to some of those platforms like Rumble and even Twitch to an extent can be a little bit nutty sometimes, even though I'm broadcasting on Twitch now too. It can be a little bit nutty sometimes, but I do believe that we should have the freest speech out there. And the fact that we have to be aware, and especially the major influencers out there, they're certainly aware of the words you can and cannot use. And that just concerns me in the long term because I do think that right now YouTube's the top dog and there's no way that anybody could imagine a streaming or video platform overtaking YouTube. But I'm here to say this, things can change quickly. And if your platform is going to offer a more free type of posting ability where you don't have to worry about these buzzwords and whatnot, I think that they would find a lot of success and would be able to compete with YouTube in the long term. Now, it's not going to happen instantly or anything like that. It's not going to be something that happens super quick, but certainly is something for YouTube to consider in the future. And a lot of this happened because of the elections. I mean, let's be honest, like we have these massive swings now because we have Trump 2.0. Now we have a lot of people that are kind of catering back to get back at his good graces because, in my opinion, it was ridiculous. They tried to not demonetize, but they tried to block a former president's social media accounts, which, again, these companies have the right to do that, but it was ridiculous. I was like, you're literally going to say a former president of the United States can't have a Facebook page, can't have a YouTube page, can't have all these different pages because he says things that are controversial to what the beliefs of the platform are. I just never understood that. I'm like, it's still a sitting president, and or in the case when they blocked him, it was still a former president. So I scratched my head on that, but there's been a big overcorrection over the past couple of months, really since the inauguration, just to make sure that these platforms are still catering are still at least appearing to be fair to both sides now. So YouTube, if you're scrolling through it, you're gonna see more and more of those videos that you thought were banned, but they're gonna be back. A couple of other things that I saw today. This one's a little bit concerning because when I was giving my speech last night at West Georgia, one of the things that I opened with was that my speech was 100% Chat GPT and AI free. And I found out this is an NPR story that I saw from, and they picked up new research from the Center for Democracy and Technology. And they have found that 1 in 5 high schoolers have had a romantic AI relationship or know somebody who has. And for me, that just shows that there is a lot of loneliness out there, a lot of loneliness. And it goes back to my overall theme for today. You don't know when you're going to be in that moment again. I know some people that when they get in situations they don't like, they're like looking for the exits. They're trying to find any way possible to get out of the situation. If you allow yourself to change your mindset just a little bit, just like re-tinker your mindset just a little bit and say, you know what? I don't love doing this. I don't love being in this event at this time, or I don't like being at this sporting event or whatever. I don't like going over to this birthday or whatever. Try to change your mindset a little bit. Try to be in the moment as much as possible because you might make a new friend out of it. And what I keep finding consistent across the board is that a lot of Americans are lonely. And that makes me sad. That makes me sad to know that so many people are lonely and just need a friend. And that's a difficult thing for me to read about and to see. And when you find out again that 1 in 5 high schoolers have had a romantic AI relationship, that's 100% going back to the loneliness epidemic. And if you allow yourself to be in somewhat uncomfortable situations, you might make a friend out of it. And you don't have to take my advice, but I think that it would certainly help you. And I know that I'm not somebody that doesn't use AI. I'm not anti-AI. There's a lot of people out there that it's funny. Like they now have these. There are 2 camps that are coming out of this. You have one camp that says that AI is like the worst thing ever, and how dare you use it? And then there's the people that say this is the greatest thing ever. You got to use it all the time. Why are you behind? Why are you not gonna? Why are you not embracing it more, Jared? And I'm like, you know what? I use AI for certain things, but there are going to be plenty of things that I don't use AI for. And I think in order to, this is, I guess, the lesson from your old buddy, Jared. Again, I'm not telling you how to think or what you should do, but at least I can help you here. Is that number one, if you're my age or younger and you decide to be in camp number 1, where you think that AI is not going to help you in the future, I'm sorry, AI is definitely going to be around. And it is up to you to be able to harness it and embrace it to make sure that it helps you with your career and doesn't replace you, number 1. And then number 2, make sure that you're not falling behind or making excess work for yourself because somebody else is able to utilize AI or whatever the hell it is at this point, whatever program it is, to get a step up or a leg up in the workforce. You got to be able to utilize it too. It's a tool. And I would say that's the best advice. Now, if you use it all the time and you're reliant on it and you can't think for yourself, then you might have some problems in the future if you are 100% relying on AI for everything. So I'm here to tell you there is a happy medium to things, and we're going to be okay. I promise you, we're going to be okay. Try your best to make sure you're not in camp number 1, but start using it for a couple of things here and there and see what you think. Doesn't mean you have to use it all the time. Doesn't mean you have to stick to just one too. There's lots of different programs out there that could certainly help you. And for the high schoolers, again, I just feel bad. I think put yourself in some uncomfortable situations. I promise you, once you get through it, there's no better feeling than when you get out of a situation that you had low expectations for and your expectations are exceeded. You go there and you're like, wow, I ended up having a great time while I was in that moment. And I promise you, from your old buddy, you're like, your old buddy Jared, you're like, hey, this is I'm glad I listened to him because he's speaking a lot of truth in what he says. So hopefully I can help you with that. Another story that I saw that kind of made me sad, and maybe this is why so many people are involved in AI relationships. Now, one would suspect, if I could speak, that I would think more men would be in AI relationships, especially with Grok. They've got that they're like an actual like chat bot kind of thing that talks to you. Now I sound like the old guy now. They actually have like an avatar that talks with you. That's that kind of looks sexy. And if you pay for the premium version. So I would expect more men to have AI chatbots, but I think that there's more women than you expect that are actually out there using these chatbots. So a bit of a concern here, but this is directly towards the ladies here. This is the plea that I have to make for you, because I know that it's common for people to want the bad boy, but there's more and more research saying that nice guys finish last. Ladies, you're leaving the nice guys on the table here. This is a study here from Sweden, where they have found that real life nice guys are less likely to be in a relationship than bad boys. Their team found that traits like agreeableness are less desirable to women than traits like assertiveness and overconfidence. So there's so much to break down with that there. It's funny to me because I think that most people think they want somebody that agrees with them all the time. But in reality, as we're seeing from the research here, people want somebody that challenges them constantly. People want somebody that kind of pushes the buttons, but you have to know when to push those buttons, because if you do it all the time, you are going to be an annoying SOB. And for the ladies that think that they want something, just make sure that you are out there looking at all of your different options out there, because I know plenty of guys that are out that are single now that are struggling in the dating world because of studies like this. They feel like they have to change their personality to be kind of a badass or something like that, when in reality, they're just kind of fun and just want to chill and maybe start a family, which for most people, I think that that's what they would want, right? Like you would expect that to be something that they want here. But, tale as old as time, the nice guys do finish last, and you actually have research to back it up this time. So for the ladies out there, I think that you just need to push back a little bit on the nice guy mantra. It's okay to date a nice guy, and push back on the bad guys a little bit. Maybe the research will change over the years, but I always see this story. This story seems to like pop up every couple of years, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's happened again. I wanted to play some sound for you guys because it's so funny with Life of a Showgirl coming out this week, and I've been telling people that I actually like The Fate of Ophelia. I actually like that song, and I find it catchy. I was actually kind of humming it in the newsroom earlier today here at WSB, and I'm like, I find it catchy. I actually like the song. Most people are saying the album is cringe and they're not digging it. I have listened to maybe 2-3 songs out of Taylor Swift's album, so I'm not going to come on here and give like any kind of album review or anything. But what I do think is funny is that a lot of people expected her to do the Super Bowl halftime show. And when Bad Bunny was announced, there's been so much outrage about Bad Bunny being the Super Bowl halftime performer. Let me at least get this on the record and tell you now that Bad Bunny is going to be awesome during the Super Bowl. He is a hell of a performer, and he has a ton of songs. And if you like to dance and you like Latin dance music, it is going to be your cup of tea. I'm so tired of people telling me that, oh, it's going to be bad. Nobody's ever heard of him. Especially, I gotta call out the Gen Xers and the Boomers here. There's so many like, well, why didn't they get somebody that's more recognizable? Bad Bunny is arguably the second most popular artist in the world. You have to put him up there with, you've got your Beyonce, already done the Super Bowl. Taylor Swift won't do it till Travis retires. And then you've got Morgan Wallen, which Morgan Wallen has way too many, he's surrounded by controversy. So you can't pick him. But it was just funny to listen to so many people, including the president earlier this week, complaining about Bad Bunny being the Super Bowl halftime performer. I mean, get over yourself. This is Trump talking to Newsmax's Greg Kelly earlier this week about Bad Bunny.
Do you think maybe we should just kind of entertain blowing off the NFL, like a boycott or something along those lines? This guy does not seem like a unifying entertainer, and a lot of folks don't even know who he is.
I never heard of him. I don't know who he is. I don't know why they're doing it. It's like crazy. And then they blame it on some promoter that they hired to pick up entertainment. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. And while we're at it, I'd like them to.
And we don't need to know why you're at. He goes off and gets upset about the kickoff rules. But it's like, why would they do that? Why would they do that? What do you mean? Nobody's heard of him. And then our House Speaker, Mike Johnson, my goodness, sounded just so out of touch with this commentary.
Any reaction to Bad Bunny being chosen as the Super Bowl halftime performance?
I didn't even know who Bad Bunny was,
okay.
But it sounds like a terrible decision in my view.
How come?
Hearing. What's that?
How come?
Well, it sounds like he's not someone who appeals to a broader audience. And I think, there's so many eyes on the Super Bowl, a lot of young, impressionable children. And I think, in my view, you would have Lee Greenwood or role models doing that, not somebody like this.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Lee Greenwood. Can you believe that? Lee Greenwood. He's got one song, Proud to Be an American. That's all you would get during a Lee Greenwood halftime show. And he's also 100 years old. Do I like Proud to Be an American? Absolutely, I like that song. But I would not want to have my Super Bowl halftime show with that song. People need to understand that. I mean, this is an issue that I've noticed with the current set of politicians. And again, this applies to both the Democrats and the Republicans. That's not connecting with the youth there. I would say even Bad Bunny is more focused on middle-aged women than even the younger set. I mean, I know that there are plenty of young people that like Bad Bunny, but I'm just blown away by that commentary there. Lee Greenwood, and why would they do this? Why is he so controversial? I'm like, he's one of the most popular artists in the world. And just because you have different political ideologies does not mean that he's going to suddenly do a bad show. I mean, and if you don't like it, step up and get away from the TV during the Super Bowl halftime show. I know plenty of people that were upset with Kendrick Lamar last year because of the Drake diss, which, by the way, Kendrick Lamar did win the defamation case. So he actually not only won the diss war, but he also won the legal war as well. So at least we have a final victor in that feud that was going on. Kind of feel bad for Drake a little bit now. I'm not going to lie. But I was always team Kendrick, but I feel bad for Drake. And I know plenty of people that were getting upset about it. But the point of the Super Bowl is to bring in a young audience and not focus in on some of these older artists that are out there. I mean, who would you get? I mean, maybe, I guess Green Day could be a band that could do it in the future, but even Green Day is nowhere close to as popular as Bad Bunny is currently. And you can come after me. You can come fight me for it. It's fine. People will be like, what are you talking about? Yeah, I love Green Day. I love Green Day too, but Green Day is nowhere close. I mean, maybe the Killers, but even then, those bands are not big enough to compete with like a Bad Bunny on that stage. So just be patient and make sure that you support the young artists that are up and coming that have a mindset. I guess if mindset is important to you, then what you need to do as a viewer or a listener to these younger artists that have the same mindset as you is you need to go out there and support them and get a lot of young people involved. This is a mission here. Okay. You got to start from the bottom. You got to get these people involved, follow along, follow the band, get the band big. And then the Super Bowl will certainly look at it because they're going to be focused on getting a younger audience. I did not mean to take that much time talking about that, but I'm just blown away at some of the stupid commentary about Bad Bunny being the halftime show. He's going to be the halftime show performer, whether you like it or not. I wanted to end on this here. I saw that Halloween candy looks like it's going up, and I know that it's all over the stores now. And man, just yet another thing that's getting more and more expensive. I have a package for you guys.
Headed out to buy Halloween candy soon?
Trick or treat!
Brace for sticker shock.
Yeah, Reese's!
A report by Wells Fargo's Agri-Food Institute shows cocoa prices have more than doubled since early 2024. While you may find the cost of your favorite candy about the same, you'll likely see smaller offerings. The Institute has found shrinkflation abounds this year. The surge in cocoa prices is linked to heavy rains that triggered black pod disease and crop rot in West Africa, which accounts for about 70% of global cocoa production. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Not good news there for the cocoa product. Not good news for Americans that have been paying for things that have been super expensive, but it is a global thing. I know I mentioned this on my video series Solo Moto earlier this year, which is actually where I'm broadcasting from today. I'm broadcasting from the Solo Moto studios. And I mentioned this earlier this week. The global economy looks a lot more like the American economy. I thought there was going to be a big difference. I was just in Scotland this past weekend and noticed the pricing of things that had gone up in grocery stores, and had noticed that people were being a little hesitant to buy things while out and about. And I noticed that in Canada earlier this year, Puerto Rico, and also in Ireland. So global economy is certainly feeling the brunt of inflation, much like we are here in the United States. So we are all connected in that fashion. Thank you guys so much for tuning in here to the Nightcap with Jared Yamamoto. It looks like for the rest of football season, I should be in the clear and on a radio near you. If you are tuning into this for the first time, whether you're listening on podcasts or watching me live or watching me back later, there's so many ways to consume this. Be sure to grab the podcast version of all of my nightcaps. Just look for the Nightcap with Jared Yamamoto on Spotify, Apple Podcast, the WSB Radio app, or WSBradio.com. Again, that is my home station. And I appreciate all of you guys for taking your time to hang out with me on a Friday. Big thank you to West Georgia again for having me out last night. Had such a fun time. And I didn't even get a chance to talk about Monica Kaufman-Pearson. She was a legend here in Atlanta as an anchor, worked for WSB TV for a long time, and was just an absolute joy to see her, and all of her messages that she gave for all of the young students at West Georgia were just it was super impressive. And I'm just so happy to be part of that university and part of the family out there, part of the pack, and had a wonderful time out there. Thank you so much for tuning in to this live stream version of the Nightcap with Jared Yamamoto. Again, I'll be back on radio next Saturday from 11 to midnight. And of course, listen to me on the Von Hessler Doctrine daily from 3 to 7, including today. But depending back when you're listening back, if you're listening back as a podcast, it might not be today. But if you're watching live now, you get my gist. I'm starting up at 3. So I got to end now. Bye-bye. And do 2 things for me. Number 1, don't do anything I wouldn't do. And number 2, be safe out there. Bye-bye.